Sakya Pandita was the fourth of the five, what we call the fourth of the five great venerable masters of Sakya. He was born in 1182 and died in the 1250s, and he was enormously important. Of course, enormously important for our tradition, for Sakya, but also enormously important for Buddhism in Tibet. In terms of our tradition, he was the grandson of Sachen Kumbhi, the first of the five great masters, and disciple of Jesen Drapa, his uncle Jesen Drapa Jalsen. From Jesen Drapa Jalsen and many other masters, including Indian and Nepali Buddhist masters, he received an astonishing variety of teachings. Of course, he received the core Vajrayana teachings of our tradition and helped to preserve them, such as the Lama and Vajrayogini and Vajrakalaya and so on. But also from his masters, particularly from his Indian masters, such as Shakya Sri and Dana Shila and so on, he received an immense treasury of learning of both the classical Mahayana Dharma teachings and also the teachings of secular traditions of knowledge, such as poetics and musicology and so on and so forth. So that's why he was called Sakya Pandita. His Tibetan name was Kungajalsen, but his nickname was Sakya Pandita because he was a pandit or a scholar equal to anybody who'd ever arisen in India. And with this immense learning and this immense meditative realization that he had through his Vajrayana practice, Sakya Pandita developed a kind of unerring Dharma eye for what is a correct teaching in accord with the teachings of Lord Buddha and the great masters, and what is incorrect. And this is very important because at that time in Tibet, just like now in the West, there are many people espousing the Dharma, some from good reasons, some from not so good reasons, but there's a great deal of ignorance and confusion. The very kind of richness of the different strands of Buddhism that have come from India created in some way a kind of space for many confusions to arise and charlatans to appear and captivate people by apparently simplified versions of the teaching. And Sakya Pandita, as Commentator Rinpoche put it to me, he didn't only benefit Sakya, he benefited all traditions, because he, like with the sword of Manjushi's wisdom, he clearly discriminated between authentic Dharma, which would truly benefit beings and lead them to develop the sublime qualities of wisdom and compassion, and inauthentic, bogus versions of the Dharma, which, while superficially attractive, would lead people into great confusion and destroy Buddhism in Tibet. And Rinpoche made the important point. This didn't just help Sakya, our tradition, but helped the other traditions, because in response to Sakya Pandita, the other traditions also looked to see what was being taught in their name and were able to clarify and eliminate things. Because, like Sakya Pandita said, that he had great respect for the teachings of Atisha, for instance, but some of those who claim the name Kadampa, i.e. follower of Atisha, by his time were perverting or corrupting the teachings. Similarly, he said he had great faith in the Marpa and Milarepa, but some of those who claim the name Kajapa, following Marpa and Milarepa, were actually also distorting the teachings. And so Sakya Pandita helped all the traditions of Buddhism align themselves with the authentic teachings of the Buddha, and not just out of faithfulness to the scriptures, but out of reasoning, because Sakya Pandita was one who brought together the need for authentic respect for the traditional teachings of the Buddha, with this being founded on reasoning, and the fact that we cannot merely have faith through the fact that the Buddha said it, but our faith must be based in having reasoned with free critical inquiry. And that's why Sakya Pandita made such a stress on introducing the pramana system, the system that had been pioneered in India by Dhammakriti and Dignaga, where we validate the Buddha's teachings through direct experience and through inferential reasoning. We do not rely upon faith in revelation or sacred scripture, but only on the authentic means of valid cognition. Sakya Pandita introduced this system to Tibet. So he was therefore a peerless master, one of the three great Manjushris of Tibet, and we are still incredibly indebted to him today. And in fact, I think more than ever today we need Sakya Pandita's universal approach, blending together supporting all the vehicles of Dharma with authentic practice and clear critical reasoning.